welcome to As You Wish Talk Radio. I am not James Gilliland, and neither are you. And that's okay, and I greet all of the divine, multidimensional beings out there listening tonight. My name's Nate, and I work here at the ranch, and I'm going to be guest hosting / moderating a panel discussion here tonight. James is actually surfing the cosmos, or traveling dimensionally, and he actually disappeared before our very eyes in a brilliant flash of light. And before he did that, he asked the staff to take care of the show for the weekend. So here we are. He's going to be back next weekend, regular time. And it really presents us with quite a rare and unique opportunity tonight to get some of the perceptions or insight of the core staff here at ECETI. And so, we're going to discuss some of the, things that are going on the world scene globally, from that macrocosm back down to the microcosm of individual personal journeys here at the ranch. And so, without further ado, let's get into this here. We got we got Pam, we got Jan the River Elf, we got Steph, we got Son, and we even have Dan the Man. And we wanted to, start off with the first thing for the evening to kind of just talk about the mass animal die-off. Now, this is a subject, turn that on, that's been, it's been in the mainstream or lamestream media. It's also been being covered by the alternative media. And, the mainstream media was kind of talking about, this was, this is all fireworks and other kind of lame excuses. Other people have been, pointing out chemtrails or additives to the chemtrails as a possible culprit, or even looking at the HARP technologies, scalar technologies, Tesla technologies. And then even further, some people have been pointing out that there actually has been a documented shift in the North Pole, and this has been affecting the magnetosphere of the planet. That's tying into earthquakes. That's tying into gases being released by the planet, or even holes in the magnetosphere allowing poisonous space gases to come into the planet. So there's a number of different explanations that people are putting forth on this phenomenon. Let's just open this up to the round table here. Looks like we're not the only zany mystics having a fireside chat this evening. We got a nice fire here. We're at the ECETI Ranch, and it looks like maybe Pam has something to say about this phenomenon. What are your thoughts on this, Pam?
Well, there's a lot of information floating around about these happenings, but I look for synchronicities in my process and how I take in information, and I look at it all. I was watching a documentary on Tesla, and part of that was his first experiments with scalar technologies. And what happened was they found mass amounts of dead fish and flocks of birds in a 50 to 150 mile radius around the facility where they were doing the scalar testing. So something clicked for me, and I feel like the scalar technologies were involved in the deaths of these animals. But it's really, there's so many things happening and a lot of information out there. We know that the energies are not balanced right now. And, we could spend a lot of energy trying to get to the core of exactly what has happened. But bigger picture, we know that things are in balance. The Earth is trying to come into balance, and there's a lot of interference. And I think we all need to do our part energetically in fighting sort of an etheric war here, and energetically try to, dissipate these energies that are being put out. I do think we have the ability to do that. I think that it is all energy, and we have the ability to work with energy and help to try to dissipate some of whether it's testing or it's full-scale warfare or it's a natural phenomenon. We need to try to help the process unfold in the most elegant way possible, because change does need to happen. But I do think we can assist in the process of how it unfolds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, certainly. I've seen such a such polarities of what people are saying about this. Some people saying, well, look, animals die even in mass on a kind of a regular basis. Apparently somebody was even quoting Michio Kaku as pointing that out recently, is that it's kind of a natural sort of thing. So don't worry about it. It's nothing to see here. And I don't mean to point this out like in any bad light of Michio, because we certainly enjoy a lot of his work. And then on kind of the other extreme, you've seen some people just saying, okay, oh my God, this is totally a sign that the world is going to end, and that apocalypse is upon us. What do you think about that?
I actually think that's an excellent point, because if they are using technology to create these events, it does feed into the Armageddon mindset that they seem to be actively promoting. It creates a sense of doom and fear within people to see these events happen, and it's just the timeliness of it and the frequency of it in the different places on the planet. I do think that there is a fear factor involved in feeding this Armageddon mentality that is forcing people into a place of powerlessness, so that they don't step into their own knowing, using their own discernment, using their own critical mind to understand their own influence on their world around them and what's really happening, what the real story is. And it's difficult living in social consciousness, being fed all of this news and this media that's so full of fear. But you have to step back for a moment and be objective and look at the type of information that's being fed and the type of events that are being orchestrated, because I don't believe there are any accidents in any of this. It's all much deeper and much more complicated, but also much more simple in some ways. It's just, I do think that there is a large amount of mind control factor there, and keeping people in a place of powerlessness, fear. It's a tactic that's been used, throughout civilizations and cultures and years when people were, fascist regimes. These are traditional tactics. It's nothing new. It's just being played out in a different way through mass media like never before. I don't think that any of us really comprehend the level of influence that comes in through our Facebook pages and the news. Even if you're only looking at alternative media, it's really easy to get caught up in the hype of a lot of this, but the end result is a fear mentality. And to get stuck there is not allowing yourself the ability to grow into, the God being that you are.
Yeah. If we find ourselves stuck in that vibration of fear, that's not necessarily the vibration that's going to facilitate our growth or our evolution.
Yeah, it's a hard line to walk, to be balanced between being in knowing, being informed about what's happening in the world around you, and then knowing that you need to take time to be introspective, to go within, to tap into your inner knowing and the energies around you. It's very easy to get distracted with the wanting all the answers right now, wanting all the information right now, getting carried away with spending time on YouTube and Facebook and everything else, and not taking that time to really integrate and reflect and feel what's happening around you.
That's a really good point. Does anybody else want to kind of weigh in their thoughts on this?
Yeah. Hi, it's Jana. I think that the energies now, there's sort of like a lot of us, well, I guess there's a lot of energy coming to the planet right now, and that our own need to connect is just as easy. It's just as easy to resist being able to do that. And when you do enable that, and you do allow yourself to connect to the earth or to yourself on all levels, the amount of information that comes in can be totally overwhelming. And that when you do connect or strive to want to go deeper, is that you'll start to feel actually what the planet is feeling. And it's kind of a harsh reality sometimes. And that there's also the importance of learning to detach from that in the planet's process, so that you don't take it on yourself, so that you can observe it and have discernment. It's very important to just take that time for reflection. And it's only even just 5 minutes a day, or just the initiative to want to do it makes all the difference. So.
Definitely. So I mean, is there something, a message in this, or what behind this phenomenon? Is this telling us something about our relationship to the Earth?
No, I think that if there is a message in here, it's encoded to try to create a reality that we don't necessarily want, and that a lot of people are aware of the fact that they create their reality with their thoughts, and there might be some people that aren't fully aware, but they've experienced synchronicity and all kinds of things. I mean, we're all conscious, waking beings, and that I've kind of gotten the go-ahead that it feels orchestrated to me. It may be part of a larger drama, but that it's a signal that a lot of people's unconscious minds might want to tune into and play out certain dramas, because we have total effect on the quantum field with our thoughts, and that you'll realize that. I mean, the more and more we go within, and if anything, I think it's important to, like Pam was saying, go within in these times. Do not mediate outside of yourself, always on other networks. Go within if you're asking questions and you want to know anything. You have the ability to access all of that information, and on a planetary scale, because your body is a massive tuning fork upon this planet, and that you can pick up on a lot of information if you attune it.
Okay, well, so let me ask you this. Some people might say this is semantics or whatever, but you know, I was describing how the polarization of this issue. Some people saying, hey, it's not really a big deal, don't worry about it, it's nothing to see here, folks, you know, move along. To the opposite of people thinking that this heralds the apocalypse or the end of the world. And I wanted to get your kind of your take on the use of that word apocalypse, because if you look up the Latin definition of it, it's basically talking about
to reveal.
A revealing, yes, the revealing. And personally, I feel that, you know, we are in the midst of that revealing, and it will continue. So, you know, but by that definition, you could say we are living through the apocalypse. Now, you know, what do you think of that? And is that necessarily a bad thing?
I guess the analytical part of me wants to go back to the Latin, to the guys who created this language and the purpose that it had. Because it seems like there's been some things mapped out. I mean, just from my own research, and that, I mean, that's what Latin is. That's what it's saying, and that I'm not buying into it. It does mean to reveal, and it is a great peeling back. And that I feel that the third dimension is heavy, and that lately it's starting to feel kind of like molasses. And if you were to walk through molasses, it would feel like part of you is starting to peel back, and that the layers are coming off, and that it's not just planetary revealing and all these other levels. It's within us, and that's what's going on. And I guess that's just where I'm kind of just turning my focus. Yeah, well said. So did anybody else want to